can see that it looks like right around the last 5. I don't go down as far as I should, and it looks like my legs might just be just a little bit more in or maybe even out. I don't know. Alright guys, so we'll see how that did. Now I hope you guys got to see. Let's see how that did, right? So yeah, and I know that you can see that it looks like right around the last 5. I don't go down as far as I should, and it looks like my legs might just be just a little bit more in or maybe even out. I don't know. Alright guys, so we'll see how that did. Now I hope you guys got to see. Let's see how that did, right? So yeah, and I know,
I mean, if you look at her hands, and I guess.
as you can see, I don't have any. Oh geez, I got a bunch standing like that. Can't really spread your. It's obviously right in line with the, pouch. Hey everyone, your girl is here. So following my as promised push-up video, I did a split screen, so half and half parallel, right? Or no, vertical. Anyhow, I did half and half vertical, and then I did one where I did the opacity, I think it's called, and I had it warm fade out, I think. No, or warm fade in. Yeah, I think I did a warm fade in, that I did. So I really hope you guys enjoyed that. And then, I did have, a post come up, so I went ahead and did a somewhat specialized post for someone. And no guys, it's not that kind of account or anything. I don't have that kind of account, but I know, obviously, well, I do have an OnlyFans for only subscriptions, right? Like, I don't do my own stuff on there. So that's how I have Little Buff Babe, right? And have correspondences with that one girl that I was trying to help this summer. So anyhow, guys, yes, I do have an account, but there's no actual content on the account. Anyhow, so I kind of felt like I was doing my own, because some of them say like specialized request, right? So you can request for something special, and then they do that something special that you want them to do, right? So anyhow, guys, I kind of felt like I was doing that today. But anyhow, and then I also did see that my retention went up a whole bunch, so I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know, maybe you guys surprised me, and if you did, I'm very happy that you guys are really enjoying my content that much. And you surprised me, and then I surprised you. So it's a very good, following that I have. So anyhow, guys, we'll go ahead here. I am so freaking cold right now. I don't know why. Alright guys, so we'll go ahead here and read this next chapter. We're getting close to the end, guys. This is really, really good. Okay. Keeping an eye on the arrow of the gas meter as it leans dangerously to the left, I drive off the exit ramp and turn in the opposite direction from the hotel. As daylight thins and fades from pale gray to carbon, the streets I drive down turn dirtier. Graffiti covers the walls, garbage everywhere. It's not quite as bad as I remember. In the last decade, there's been much overhyped urban redevelopment, as the white guys on the news called it. Between the projects and neglected, dilapidated homes, glossy boxes of condos have sprung up like brick and glass mushrooms. Buy up now, this area is about to be booming. Smart investments for a savvy young professional. But then, it was just an investment for a savvy young drug addict, for which my mom, Valerie Santos, certainly qualified. As soon as the first echoes of recognition start to go off in my mind, anxiety creeps up, crackling in my fingertips like static. The corner store where I used to shoplift candy bars when I was 8 or 9 comes into view. Still there, still kicking. Same Sharpie drawn sign in the window. Well, not the same sign, but still hand drawn, boasting cigarettes, wine, beer, lottery. Valerie sent me home here for peanut butter, milk cartons, and a fluffy cotton-like loaves of plastic wrapped bread when she wants it up for shopping for groceries. After a while, the guy behind the counter started to recognize me and would sell me smokes. For Val only, little lady. I remember being so damn proud of myself and sneaking a cigarette or two, knowing Val wouldn't notice the pack was open. None of it seemed abnormal to me. The other kids I knew lived the same way. Circling the block, dreading the moment the house floats into view, I start to wonder. My fingertips dance out a nervous tattoo on the steering wheel. I don't remember a damn thing about the actual day I was taken. This much I've repeated to everyone a million times. But now, after everything, thoughts creep into my head that Dr. Rowland wouldn't approve of. I remember her words vividly, and I read enough about trauma-induced selective amnesia online. What exactly is my mind trying to protect me from? What could be so horrifying and traumatic that I chose to just blank it out while the ensuing 3 years of crystal clear every week, every day and minute? The answer nags at me from the perimeters of my mind. I could have gone with him on my own free will. I can't have taken that much to tempt someone like me, like the girl I was back then. He couldn't have had to promise me the stars. Anything would have seemed better than living with Val. I could have gone with him for a chocolate bar, a pack of gum. My foot slams on the brakes before I realize what I'm doing. Luckily, the street is half empty. My head snaps forward, not enough to give me a whiplash, but nonetheless, I should probably have put on my seatbelt. I pull over, rest my forehead on the steering wheel, focus on my breathing, waiting for the oncoming panic attack. You can't think like this. Dr. Rowland would say, you weren't to blame for what he did to you, or any other thing. You were innocent. She clearly never met a kid from my neighborhood. Once I trust myself not to hyperventilate, I leave the car by the curb and walk in the direction I came from to the convenience store. Hesitating, I push the door open. The chime that clangs over my head, disharmonious, like broken glass, sends a tremor of memory racing up my spine. It's a different guy behind the counter now. Of course it is. Did I really expect to find everything preserved as I remembered it? Some screwed up times capsule? He gives me the side eye as I browse the long aisle. Don't want anything or anyone shoplifting. To appease him, I buy a pack of smokes, even though I still have some left. He makes my handful of change disappear and gives me a fleeting but sharp once over. Hey, chica, he pipes, as I'm already at the door, bracing myself for another clang of the chime. Do I know you from somewhere? No, I say too quickly without turning around. I'm not from around here. Sure, I've seen you before, he goes on. My gaze darts sideways at the magazine stand under the counter. Huge black letters yell from a headline. Shaw Adoption Drama. The answer to the shocking disappearance. Air rushes into my lungs, burning. The chime gives a sad clink when I slam the door and flee. Way to go, Lane. Way to go. I know I need to save up my pills, so I content myself with a smoke which ends it early enough, it only makes my hands shake more, and my heartbeat picks up a desperate rhythm. Having learned my lesson, I pull the hood of my sweatshirt over my head. With my baggy pants and my oversized man's pleather jacket, my hair and most of my face obscured, you can't tell I'm a girl at all, which can only work in my favor in these parts. My knife is still with Sean, and I'm defenseless. The idea that I might get hurt or killed because someone takes my knife away fills me with bitter vindictiveness. How sorry he'd be. I think as I peer through the shadows in the search of unknown assailants. The walk to my old house takes less time than I thought. It floats out of the descending shadows, sneaking up on me. One moment I was just walking down the street, and next there it is. It's not a shock exactly, but not happy homecoming either. I don't know what I expected. Maybe for it to be sold? So now there would be a happy family living there, 2.5 kids and a little yappy dog. A colorful plastic slide and swing set in the tall grass of the Kleenex side front yard. No such luck. It's abandoned. Not the only house on the street with windows boarded up, but it seems to be in the most advanced state of disrepair. The cheap white boards that cover the walls and facade have fallen away in places, and the rest have turned yellowish, grayish color. Plywood covered windows stare at me blindly, reminding me of my poor apartment I can never come back to. There used to be a chain link fence that reached up to my waist, but it's rusted through, the pieces are missing. I don't even have to step over it to get into the yard. Tall grass rustles as I advance through it, crushing my dead stems under my boots, pushing them out of the way. They whip my hands and face, and I hit back with twice the violence. Memories resurface as I circle the house. I know there's another door in the back, and that's where I'm headed. The glass inserted in the door is cracked, and so coated with dust and cobwebs it's nearly opaque. 2 crisscross boards were nailed over the door, but one has been pried away and the other is so rotten it's falling to pieces, crumbling under my fingertips. When I turn the door handle, it obeys with surprising ease and barely a squeak of rust. It doesn't take much effort to duck under the board and slip into the house. It would be pitch black if not for a massive hole in the roof. But the last daylight is ebbing away, so I have to light my way with my cell phone. Naturally, the movement I turn it on. The empty battery alert starts to flash. I groan. But did I intend to stay here for too long anyway? The part in the kitchen, long and narrow, with an arched doorway leading to the main room. There's no hall. The front door opens right into the living room. Even back when I was a kid, the insulation always came unglued, and icy breezes speared the place. Now long stripes of fading light fall from the door across the dirty floor. There's a thin plaster wall separating the living room from my bedroom, which is the size of a closet and windowless. The doors are gone, and empty doorways are like gasping mouths, dark and forbidding beneath my boots. Broken glass and the expected used syringes crunch softly. It doesn't even gross me out. The place smells like you'd imagine an abandoned house to smell, of human debris. I don't know why I came here. What was I looking for? Do I think my memory would magically come back? A light bulb goes off in my brain like a cartoon. Wouldn't that be convenient? It does come back, but not like a light bulb, more like a trickle. Mostly useless random things. I remember the vomit, color of the couch, and the angle of the TV facing away from my door. Valerie's walls were painted a strange deep red, mine a glowing pink, a rare attempt at decoration on her part, long before I could remember. I assume there was a time when even Valerie gave a shit. At some point, I had one of those child's four-poster beds before I outgrew it at 7 or 8. There was no money to replace it, so I kept a mattress on the floor ever since. Something pulls me. What the heck was that? It was weird. Something pulls me. Some unhealthy need to see it with my own eyes. Now that there's anything, not that there's anything left to see, all hints of furniture and appliances are long gone. But I take a step towards the dark rectangle of the door on the right, then another step, and then my legs are carrying me on their own free will. Claustrophobia inducing walls close in on me. When I raise my phone, I see humidity stained paint with black flowers of mold creeping down from the ceiling, but the memory of the original color still lurks underneath. I turn around and shine the phone light into the corners, one after another. The room is empty, and something about it is odd. I can't put my finger on it at first, but it nags at me until I get it. There's no trash here. Not like the rest of the place, anyway. There are still dust and cobwebs and paint chips, but no broken glass or condom wrappers. When I turn to leave, the phone light snatches something out of the darkness. Just the corner of an object. I spin around and the phone nearly flies out of my hand. There are rocks, a small pile of rocks and crumbled pieces of brick arranged in a square shape, and in the middle I see something rusted and metallic, bright blue paint still clinging amidst dark spots of corrosion. With the toe of my boot, I turn it over and stumble away until my back hits the wall. My phone slips from my hand and clatters on the floor in a halo of diffused light. I press my back into the chipping paint, unable to peel my gaze away from the object. It's a doll, a child's doll on a toy bed. Its glass eyes glint dimly in the weak light. I don't know how long it takes me to come out of my stupor. I slide to the floor, crawl towards my phone, and pick it up. My hands are shaking so much that frightening shadows dance on the walls, shadows that look alive. Holding my breath, I examine the shrine. That's what it is, no other word for it. A bed, a doll, 4 walls. There are even stumps of candles. The doll looks like something you'd find in the bins at Goodwill. But when I lean closer, I realize the doll's peeling limbs have been painted brown over generic beige white.
Hey,
What?
can I come in?
Yes, I'm reading my book.
And I can't parallel park.
Babe, we'll do it, okay?
But
We'll do it.
Nancy said what she does is do like I do. Drive around till you find one on the end.
Yep. The hair has been slathered in something black and flaking, and her eyes are the wrong color, light gray, startling and bright against the dark paint. The skin is too dark to be Olivia, but the eyes aren't mine. My shiver runs down my spine like needles under my skin. I can't bring myself to touch the thing. There's one of those plastic toy plates with dark flecks in the center. Its contents spilled next to it. 3 cigarette butts. I grasp one between forefinger and thumb and hold it up, illuminating it with my phone. It's fresh, marked with humidity, already cold for some time, but the filter is still bright orange, unfaded. The end is crushed with a faint indent of teeth. I look at it and look at it, and things refuse to add up in my head until I see this thin striped lining the filter, my brand. I drop it and suddenly, like it suddenly burst into flame and wipe my hands on my jeans. My head spins when I scramble to my feet. I should call Sean. The thought surfaces in my mind like an old habit, and I feel a cowardly rush at the idea that I have found something for him. Something real. Finally, I scroll through my contacts, dial the number, and press my phone to my ear. Without the light of the screen, the darkness is near total, and I blink into it while the line takes forever to connect. Then it goes straight to voicemail. I curse and end the call, realizing too late that I really should have left a message. I try to take a photo, but the screen informs me smugly that I don't have enough battery left to use the camera function. No choice but to call him again. I mash the number of the phone with my thumb and hit into the call button and wait, but the call drops without ever connecting. There's a sound at the edge of my hearing, a sound I couldn't have noticed if I hadn't been holding my breath. A soft scrape that cuts short almost as soon as I become aware of it. I freeze and hold up my phone, directing the light at the empty door frame. The house responds with silence. A part of me wants to think it's the house in its normal process of falling apart, boards creaking as they rot, beams groaning as they get closer to collapse, crumbling plasters and bloated plywood falling away in pieces. Maybe it's nothing more than my nerves, and who can blame them? But what's the same part for me who, for all I know, followed a complete stranger without putting up a fight? The new me, the person who came out on the other side of hell 10 years ago, knows better. As I inch towards the door, I'm aware of the creak on the floorboards every step, and I'm not kidding myself. The other person is aware of it too. My breathing is like a gale in the silence, and all my attempts to control fail miserably. I advance into empty, pitch-black space. The hole in the ceiling no longer sheds light. It's dark outside, and there have never been lights on this street. Without my phone, the darkness farther than a few inches from my face, so it's impenetrable. Yeah. It might as well be solid entity. An irresistible urge to yell scratches in the back of my throat, to shriek, to shatter to silence, and hear the echo of my voice bounce off the walls and ceiling, to prove to myself and whoever else is in here that I exist, that I'm real. At the same time, the little girl silently begs to awaken from this like a bad dream. Back at my apartment, or at the hotel, or anywhere. I turn on my phone again, but the screen dims. The red battery icon flashes steadily like a heartbeat, and suddenly I know what to do. Please, only let the battery last just a moment longer. I desperately paw at the screen, get into my contacts, and thumb the number I copied from Sean's phone. The screen goes dark, and my heart nearly stops, but then brightens again, dialing. A moment later, a moment that fits the whole of eternity, a sharp metallic ring erupts from the darkness, only a few feet away. I hear the hiss and of an inhale and the shadows move. The call cuts off to nothing. The phone flashes one last time and the screen powers down. I'm in the dark. All of my instincts scream at me to run. Out of the sheer despair, or maybe because I know I'm shit out of options. I obey. After all these years, I know the house pretty much by heart, and it kicks in like a reflex. I dart across the room to the doorway leading to the kitchen, to the back door to salvation. Just as I pass through the doorway, something brushes against me. Something soft, fabric swiping my face, my shoulder, my arm. A shriek escapes from my tightly clenched jaw as I stumble back, then trip over my feet and go sprawling. The rustle is so close that I expect it to sweep over me any minute like a big predatory bird. I roll over, kick out the darkness with both feet as hard as I can. My soles connect with something. There's a hiss of a breath being drawn through clenched teeth. A soft thud as whoever it is hits the wall. I strain my eyes, but all I see are shadows stirring. Without waiting for my assailant to recover, I scramble up and make for the door. I swing it open without resistance. As I scamper out, one of the remaining boards, I half expect someone to grab my leg from behind to pull me, kicking and screaming into the darkness of the house, but there's no one. When I glance over my shoulder, all I see is a half-open door into nothingness. My animal instinct honed for many days and weeks and months takes over, and I turn around and, like a scared rabbit that I am, I run. Ooh! Oh my guys, this is getting good, guys. We're almost there. Oh my gosh. Alright guys, so thank you for watching that, and reading that, listening to that as well with me, and then I'll go ahead here and probably just watch a single video and then get going, because what's that say, 27 minutes? Yeah, that was a long chapter, but it was really, really good seeing her go back to her, her own actual house that it actually happened in. Especially after being, through all of those, different places already, her own apartment, and then the hotel with Sean's, and then obviously, what was the other place? The girl from work, remember? Where she's like, I didn't know that girl was into that girl's, and then, yeah, it's definitely getting intense, so. Anyhow, guys, thanks for watching. Talk to you guys later.
And pick out a television because Terry's going to buy one.
Okay. Hey, Moo. Can I come in? So I'm gonna put out my trail cam. Those steps looked identical to the steps that are out here in the.
Which
so steps? I think the dog tracks.
Identical to what one?
The dog over here. But I don't understand why it would run over here and just appear out of nowhere or just teleport onto the porch. Because there's no there's literally no dog is that tall, unless it's like a Great Dane. It's not going to be able to stand on its hind legs at the very edge of the, and then,
We'll just put a camera.
Yeah, so whenever I get home tonight, I'm going to put my camera on the inside of this door. Or maybe put it back a little bit.
The Christmas tree.
Yeah, but put it back a little bit. Because you can't have it so close, because then you don't get to see what it is.
No, but I'm saying put it
yeah,
back
like near the handle of the door and kind of like tilt it
down.
down.
Well, I wouldn't go on that side because the screen's there.
Okay, the other side.
Yeah.
And then I'll put it on video mode so we can see what it does. If it just... Because that is so weird.
I don't understand why it comes up there.
I know.
And are they dog tracks? Did you count the number of...
I'm going to check again. But yeah, it looks like dog. But it looks like there's that dew claw in the front, so I think it could be a coyote too. It's crazy.
Well, not everybody takes that dew claw off.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forget. Poppy told me it's something about it's a little bit bigger too, or something.
It might.
It's a little bit bigger, a coyote track than a dog track. Yeah, but we'll figure it out because that's weird. All right.
Because that's my second call.
All right. I had a really good run, Mumu. I'm really excited.
What?
I said I had a really good run this morning.
Where'd you go?
Just to the gym.
I thought you couldn't run at the gym.
Are you out of your mind?
I asked you about me going over there and walking.
Again, there's a difference between walking and a treadmill. There's a difference.
Oh, you were on a treadmill.
Yes, Mumu. Yes, a treadmill. So you have to keep up with the treadmill, but I still did really, really good.
When I had a treadmill, I liked
Yeah, I
that,
remember.
but I can't be on the treadmill because of my knee.
Yep. That's right.
Now,
I'm excited to see what that animal is. And then I'm excited to see the fins loose tonight. I bet you they'll lose, Mumu. Heck, they're still pampered with 80-degree weather down there in Miami. The fins. Miami. Alright guys, so we'll go ahead here and get going now that you got to watch that. And that'll pretty much be today's vlog, so only one video from today. I did have a lot of difficulty sleeping last night. I have to get some earplugs soon because the fan is just too much for me. But I mean, I was able to sleep rather well and get a lot of really good rest. Even though I wasn't officially asleep. So, go ahead here and post my screen log at the end, and then my run, and yeah, that'll pretty much be it. So, and then tomorrow, not really sure what I'll do, but I'll find something to do, and that'll be that. So, we'll do one more hunk of mayonnaise and be done. You guys can also see that they gave us cat's mail again. So I took it over and I was like, you know, I gave it to him. He said thank you, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I've never really seen, you know, if you, well, I asked him if he got the other one. And I was like, yeah, I've never really paid attention to if, you know, you have mail in your hands and stuff. Like, I have no idea when you guys get your mail and stuff. Not really something I pay attention to when I see you and wave and say hi. So then she went out then. I saw her go out and get the mail. So that's that. So, yeah. And then my red lights also haven't shipped, so that's an update on that. And yeah, that'll be that. So anyhow, guys, thank you again for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.